10 Caitlin Clark Moments That Changed Iowa Women's Basketball. As part of the SB Nation Game Changer series, let's remember 10 Caitlin Clark game-changing Iowa moments. A foundation of success already existed for the Iowa women's basketball team before Caitlin Clark ever donned a black and gold jersey. A loyal and growing fanbase, NCAA tournament appearances nearly every year under head coach Lisa Blutter, and 2019 National Player of the Year Megan Gustafson already had more eyes on the Hawkeye program than one might have thought, especially compared to the likes of stalwarts in the game, like UConn, Notre Dame, Baylor, and South Carolina. And yet, the gap between the elite and the early tournament exit programs was more like a gulch for a program like Iowa. Enter Caitlin Clark. The hometown guard chose the Hawkeyes over Notre Dame because of her connection with the coaching staff and the opportunity to elevate the program from a second-round exit to title contention. After Clark's freshman season ended with an unexpected Elite Eight run, the Hawkeyes were bounced out of the NCAA tournament in the second rough in her sophomore year. The doubters came out in full force. As Clark's national prominence continued to grow, the results needed to match the hype if it was going to be merited in the eyes of the women's basketball community. Suddenly, a deep tournament run became more than a goal for the program to achieve. It became an expectation from the outside world. Clark, Blutter, and her teammates made it happen twice. Clark's prominence helped create a sellout streak for 3 seasons in a row, and counting. Her jersey forever hangs in the rafters of Carver Hawkeye Arena. Clark and Iowa were a perfect match, one that turned a star into a superstar and elevated a program and fan base that had been ready and waiting to take the next step. If you're reading this, chances are you already know that. You, like so many other fans in Iowa and across the country, witnessed it. We might even still be witnessing it as Clark continues to elevate her professional career. So let's take a step back and re-witness Caitlin Clark's top 10 culture-shifting, record-setting moments from her time in an Iowa jersey. Note, this is not anywhere near an exhaustive list. There are a literal metric ton of Caitlin Clark best plays and moments. These are the ones that live rent-free in my head, the ones that for some I still think, wow, I watched that happen in front of my eyes. That's what we're going for here. Down 2 starters and trailing by as many as 25 points on the road against the number 6 Wolverines, sophomore Caitlin Clark erupted in the 4th quarter to pretty much single-handedly bring the Hawkeyes back into a game they had no business being in. Caitlin scored 25 of her, then, career-high 46 points in the 4th quarter. This is the moment, at least for me, when I saw the vision of just how lethal Caitlin Clark could be on the basketball court, how she could take over a game and almost do the impossible to earn her team the win. Yes, this one ended in a loss, but in true Caitlin Clark fashion, it was a moment that fueled the rest of her career and possibly a personal vendetta against Michigan. Number 9. Crossover at Kinnick, October 15, 2023. The only reason this is low on the list is because it wasn't a real game, but still, 100% a memorable moment. Let's be real, Iowa athletics wouldn't have agreed to this if Caitlin Clark wasn't involved. Pack the stands of the football stadium to watch an exhibition women's basketball game? At least when they had wrestling in Kinnick, the match counted. This moment, setting the single-game women's basketball attendance record, was a testament to Clark's stardom and the meteoric rise of an Iowa fanbase who suddenly could not get enough women's basketball. From the wave at the end of the 1st quarter, to the marching band performing a halftime show just like a football game, this was a moment that won't happen again for a long time, if ever. Number 8. Buzzer beater against Michigan State, January 2nd, 2024. 2 straight Final Four appearances make a lot of fans forget about the grind of the conference season that is required in order for your team to even make the NCAA tournament. Or really just the grind in general of playing that much basketball. The Clark-era Hawkeyes had plenty of games that they should have won, but didn't cough IUPUI cough, and plenty of games that were a struggle. In this game, an unranked but scrappy Michigan State team came into Carver and gave the number 4 Hawkeyes hell for nearly 40 minutes. No one but Caitlin and sophomore Hannah Stolka scored in double digits, and Clark, not getting a ton from her teammates, had to increase her shot volume because of it. Game tied at 73 all with 24 seconds left. Molly Davis let the clock tick down for the final shot, finding Stolka at the top of the key. Stolka struggled with the pass but managed to find Clark standing near the beak of the midcourt Tigerhawk, who jumped into the beak and launched the potential game winner.
Swish.
Number 7. Triple-double versus Louisville to go to the Final Four. Caitlin Clark versus Hailey Van Lith for a spot in the Final Four? Who says no? This was the first of 2 consecutive games, more on the other one later, in the 2023 NCAA, where Clark went absolutely supernova to ensure the victory. Iowa made a program record 16 three-pointers on the night, with 8 of them coming from Clark alone. She finished the night with her 11th triple-double of her career, tallying 41 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds in a beatdown of Louisville so bad that it sent HVL packing to LSU. Number 6. First triple-double of Iowa career, December 22, 2020. Just 6 games into her Iowa career, a highly touted guard named Caitlin Clark was on a mission to prove that despite only being a freshman, she was out to make an immediate impact for her team. Sure, she had scored 27 points in her first Iowa game a month earlier, but triple-doubles were few and far between for the program, and the sport in general. Clark only scored 13 points, but used this game to prove that even if she wasn't going to take over the scoring column, she could make an impact in other categories that were just as important, grabbing 13 rebounds and 10 assists. It was the first of 17 career triple-doubles for Clark at Iowa, putting her in second place all-time behind Sabrina Ionescu for the coveted mark. Number 5. Buzzer beater against Indiana, February 26, 2023. A top 10 battle in Carver Hawkeye Arena between the number 6 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes and the number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers in the final regular season matchup of the year for Iowa in front of a crowd that was starting to frequently sell out the arena. The matchup lived up to the hype. A back-and-forth battle for most of the game. Indiana kept Iowa from scoring any field goals for most of the final 1/30 of the game, taking an 85-83 lead with just under a second left to play. After a lengthy review that added a bit more time on the clock, Lisa Bludden called a timeout to advance the ball across the court, where Kate Martin found a wide-open Clark coming off a Monica Chinano screen to hit the game-winning basket. All-time shot, all-time celebration from Clark in a season loaded with all-time moments. Number 4. 2024 Final Four versus UConn, April 5, 2024. Caitlin versus Paige. With the winner goes to the national championship? Yeah, this game lives rent-free in my head. After a loss to Buchers and the Huskies in the Elite Eight as a freshman, there's no doubt that redemption was on Clark's mind in this game.